folks, it's Allie. Today we're going to make 5 keto-friendly recipes that you can bring to your 4th of July barbecue or any summer party. On the menu for today, we have barbecue or pulled pork for you northerners, low sugar coleslaw, grandma's famous green beans, which I already did a video on for my keto Christmas video, and I'll post that link down below. We also have Patriotic deviled eggs, red, white, and blue popsicles, and finally, my favorite recipe from the entire day, lemon custard, which was perfect for a hot summer's day. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to cook is the barbecue because it's going to take about 6 hours in a slow cooker. I don't have a barbecue grill and I think lots of people out there don't either, so it would be easier for me and others out there to cook their pulled pork in a slow cooker. When you're buying your cut of meat, you will want either pork shoulder or Boston butt. I have the Boston butt here that I just got from Walmart. For the sauce that it's going to be cooking in all day, you'll need some broth, some vinegar. I'm going to try out liquid smoke. I've never used it before, but some recipes I found said to use it, so that's what I'm going to try. You'll also need Worcestershire sauce, some mustard, and then also some hot sauce. And the hot sauce is just to put on the end product when you've pulled the pork and you want a topping. So into our mixing bowl, we're going to mix 1/2 cup of chicken broth, then 1/2 cup of vinegar, then about 10 dashes of Worcestershire sauce, and then finally I'm going to add in and try out 1 tablespoon of liquid smoke. I'm also going to use some fresh ground pepper. I like the pepper medley that I get. It's got coriander seeds in it. And then finally, like I said, where I'm from, we like our mustard-based barbecue sauce. So I'm just going to squeeze in about 1/4 cup of mustard. Before you put your pork into the slow cooker, just take a napkin and some oil, I'm using olive oil, and coat the pan. Now I've got my pork and my broth in the slow cooker, and I'm just going to turn it on high and leave it for 6 hours. Now while my pork is cooking, the next thing that I'm going to do is make my low sugar mustard-based barbecue sauce. And really you can just kind of make this to your own taste. All it is I'm adding white vinegar and yellow mustard together until it's at a thick consistency like other barbecue sauces. And then I'll add in my sweetener. I like to use Splenda, but you can add in your own sweetener as well. I think that the yellow mustard gives it a nice twang while the Splenda helps sweeten it up a bit. Like I said, just add in the ingredients until you get the consistency that you want. I never really measure, so that's why I'm squirting in all this extra mustard. Next, we're going to make our low sugar coleslaw. So what you can do is just buy the bagged tricolor coleslaw or just the regular white cabbage coleslaw, that's fine too. You'll also need some cream, some celery seed, some white vinegar, and mayonnaise. And what I forgot to put in this little setup here is your sweetener, your low sugar sweetener. And like I said, I always just use Splenda. For our coleslaw dressing, I'm just going to mix 1/4 cup of white vinegar, 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, a tablespoon of celery seed, and then also 28 grams of mayonnaise. And I'm going to use those 2 Splenda packets there, but you can use your own favorite sweetener and sweeten it to your own tastes. For our next barbecue side, we're going to make deviled eggs. So first you'll need 6 large eggs, Dijon mustard, mayonnaise, white vinegar, and most people put paprika, but I can't really taste paprika and I like spice, so I'm going to use a little bit of cayenne pepper. First thing you do is hard boil your eggs and then slice them in half, and then put the yolks into a mixing bowl and mash them together. In my prep bowls for the deviled eggs, I have 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, 28 grams of mayonnaise, and then 50 grams of Grey Poupon Dijon mustard, and also a little bit of pepper there to crack in as well. The muscle had to step away for a bit to run some errands, so for part of this video I'll be filming on my own, and as you can tell it's a little hard to mix things and hold the camera at the same time. Then you can scoop the egg yolk mixture back into the eggs, or you can pipe them in using an icing bag. Now I made 3 versions of these deviled eggs in order to make them more patriotic for 4th of July. So first we have our original mixture with just the egg yolk mixture and paprika. Then we have our red, white, and blue cheese eggs, which is just with bacon bits and blue cheese crumbles on top. And then finally, they didn't turn out quite red, white, and blue, but I tried to make red, white, and blue dyed eggs, but the red actually came out as magenta. But that's okay, they're a little bit fun, and if you can figure out the food coloring, I'm sure that it would work better for you. And of course, if you wanted to skip the hassle of adding in extra ingredients or trying to dye your eggs, you could always just add a fun flair with Patriotic toothpicks. Next, for our red, white, and blue popsicles, you're going to need a popsicle mold, and I just bought this one from Walmart for 99 cents. Then you're going to need some Diet Sprite. We have sugar-free cherry jello, and I like the cherry because I think it's a little bit sweeter. Some blue food coloring, your favorite sweetener, cream cheese, and heavy whipping cream. First, just make your cherry jello according to the package, and as you can see here, I'm just pouring it into my mold first, and then it's going to go in the freezer, and I'm going to let it freeze. Next, I'm making the white part of the red, white, and blue popsicles by mixing in 32 grams of cream cheese and then 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. Also, I'm adding my sweetener, which is my Splenda. Then just give everything a really good mixing. I didn't mix mine well enough, and you'll see at the end of this video how mine turned out a little bit clumpy, so make sure you mix everything very, very well. Finally, to make the blue part of the popsicle, you're just going to mix about a cup of Sprite, Diet Sprite, and then 2 drops of blue food coloring. Mix it up and then set it aside because we're going to pour it in last and then freeze it. So I might have bought the wrong type of popsicle molds because as you can see they have this lid here. So if you don't have that on your popsicle molds, this will be easier. But what I had to do was once I froze the first 2 layers, I kind of had to let them soften so that I could stick the topper of the popsicle back into the actual mixtures. But if you get a different type of mold, it would probably be more easy for you to do this. Luckily, once they softened a bit, I was able to add in the last bit, the blue part, and then stick in the tops of my popsicles. Finally, we're going to make my favorite recipe from the entire day because it came out so delicious and so sweet and tangy. So first you'll need the juice from 6 lemons, your favorite sweetener, 1 stick of butter, 1 package or 8 ounces of cream cheese, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and then also to make it more patriotic, and you can totally skip this part, but I added in some coconut flakes that I dyed with red and blue food coloring. So here I'm just going to mix everything into my bowl except for my butter, which I cut up into little pats, and then I'll add that in later once we start using the double boiler or my makeshift double boiler. But just go ahead and incorporate everything and mix it up as well as you can. I ended up using 10 Splendas, and it did come out a little bit sweeter than I had thought. So if you want to cut it back to 8 or your favorite sweetener, just do it to your own taste and taste it as you go. But the 10 still worked pretty well because I did use lots of lemon juice, which made it really tangy, but it also was very, very sweet. So make it to your own tastes and make sure you go slow with the sweeteners. For my double boiler, I've just got a pot boiling on the stove, and then I'm just putting the mixing bowl right on top of it. And this will make the mixture cook very slowly. You definitely do not want to overcook the eggs. You want to cook them very slowly. So then I'm just adding in the butter just to help it melt. And then I'm going to whisk it. It took about 3 or 4 minutes for all of this to incorporate. Also, make sure you're constantly whisking that bowl so that none of the egg mixture stays on either side for too long so that it does not overcook. And then as you can see here, those eggs have thickened because they've cooked up a bit. And so you want to get it to more of like a cake batter consistency. So I'm about to pull it off the heat now because I definitely do not want to overcook it and cook those eggs too much. Then I'm just going to pour my mixture into a pan, and I'm going to put it in the fridge for a couple hours to help it set. So all of that cream cheese and that butter, even though it was melted, it's going to set and it's going to harden so that you can kind of slice this out of the pan and serve it. So I let the custard set in the fridge and it actually came out really nice, and I'm a little proud here, and I'm so happy that using that double boiler worked because I've never used one before. So now I just took that 1 cup of heavy whipping cream and I put it in a blender and I made whipped cream out of it. And as you can see here, I'm just going to spread it on top of the custard. Now, like I said, you can totally skip this part, but I like coconut, so I'm going to take these unsweetened coconut flakes and I've put just 2 handfuls in 2 different Ziploc bags, and I'm going to add a few drops of food coloring to each bag. Now this is one of the parts where the muscle couldn't film for me, so it's going to be a little up close, but all I did was I just shook that Ziploc bag. I added some air to it so the flakes, the unsweetened coconut flakes, could really mix around, and so I'm going to show you how that worked. All I have now is the blue dye drops, and I haven't shaken it yet. I'm just going to show you how they kind of transformed in the bag. It's actually kind of fun to watch how it slowly turns blue. So now I'm just taking those coconut flakes and I'm sprinkling them on top of my whipped cream for my lemon custard. And there you have it, my red, blue, and white. I left the white on the side just in case somebody didn't like coconut. It would be easier for them to scoop it out. But you can mix it all up and have it all over the sprinkles. That's up to you. So back to our main attraction of the day, all I'm doing is I am taking a fork and I am pulling that pork apart. So it was in the slow cooker for about 6 hours on high, and it's just so juicy and it's just basically falling apart. Now there are some parts where you had to take a knife and kind of shave it off a little bit, but it came out so well and I was so pleased. Well folks, this is what the final spread for our 4th of July family get-together looked like. We had so much delicious food and most of it was keto friendly, but everything turned out so great and I was so pleased. And like I said, my favorite thing for the entire day was that lemon custard. It was just so delicious and such a treat. But I do hope that you enjoyed watching. Thank you guys for everything, and I hope that you do give some of these recipes a try because they were just amazing. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to find me on Instagram, my name is Keto_Ally. Also, I have a blog, it's AllyMcWowie.com, and you can find me on Facebook as well. Again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. My name's Ally. Have a good one. Bye. So we put all the food outside, but there are too many flies because it's summertime. So we brought all the food back in, and we're just waiting on family members to arrive. I forgot about these, the popsicles. They taste good. You got the cherry jello, the cream cheese, and then the blue Sprite. Tastes really good. Don't look very good. So, you know, not everything's going to be a win, but oh well. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to find me on Instagram, my name is Keto_Ally. Also, I have a blog, it's AllyMcWowie.com, and you can find me on Facebook as well. Again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.